I'm very pleased to be sitting here with Tom Morello, who of course you guys know from Rage Against the Machine and Audio Slave, and most recently known as Tom Morello, the Night Watchman. You released your first solo record, One Man Revolution, last year, and the second Tom Morello and the Night Watchman album, entitled The Fabled City, will be out on September 30th. I understand that the second solo album is a little different from the first one. Tell me about the evolution from one to the other.
Sure. I mean, the first record was a folk record, very much in the tradition of Woody Guthrie or Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska or Ghost of Tom Joad records, early Bob Dylan. This record is more expansive musically. It's got the energy of some of my rock bands, but it has some of the lyrical themes, the more dour lyrical themes of some of my favorite folk songs.
For you, I get the sense that music and politics are completely inextricable. How do you respond to people who say, I don't want to know what your political views are, why should I care just because you're a musician? What's your response to that?
I mean, for the only people that ever make that critique of artists that they don't want them to meld their politics in their art or their music is when they disagree with those beliefs. Yeah. So I mean, it's a completely partisan criticism. And the first thing I'd say is when you pick up a guitar, you don't put down your First Amendment rights, and so I think that I would love for people, in whatever their vocation is, whether they're a journalist or a carpenter or whatever, to express more of what they feel and who they are, rather than think that work should be entirely separate from the things you believe in. I didn't really choose to be a guitar player. That kind of chose me. So I'm stuck with that. And so now I have to find a way to get out the things that I think and feel.
You and Rage Against the Machine performed at the protests surrounding both political conventions not too long ago, and you had to get a little creative with one of your performances. I should say peaceful protests, but some of that, through no fault of your own, wasn't all that peaceful.
At the RNC, what happened, we were playing a show. It was an outdoor show of about 5,000 people on the steps near the state capitol, and when we got out of the vans, we were immediately surrounded by the police. And the first question they asked me was, are you Rage Against the Machine? And we were surrounded by police, and someone asked me that question, so I responded, I don't know. And then they just said, if you approach the stage, we're going to arrest you. You may not play. You're not on the permit for today's show. We showed them the permit that showed that the 4 hours worth of acts that had already played, including Michael Fonte and none of them were listed on the permit. So we were, they just clearly didn't want us to play. And imagine if during the Olympics, in China, that a pro-democracy or a band critical of the government had been surrounded by police and told that if they sang their songs that were critical of the government, they would be arrested. Imagine the outrage, the human rights outrage. That's exactly what happened in St. Paul, Minnesota. But not to be thwarted. We did an end around the police, made our way into the middle of the crowd, 5,000 of our closest friends, and passed a bullhorn back and forth and sang a couple of songs a cappella, and the crowd went wild.
One more question. How are your Guitar Hero chops? Can you beat yourself?
Very poor. It's a question that, frankly, I'm too often asked, and it has really changed my life walking down the sidewalk, because people of all ages from 5 to 50 have Guitar Hero in their homes, and they're like, dude, I kicked your ass on Guitar Hero. And I'm like, dude, I could care less about that. It's a video game.
Raise the ramparts. I'll meet you now. Wherever you are, I'm here until the front line breaks. Whatever it takes.
Tom Morello, the Night Watchman. The record is The Fabled City, and it's going to be out this week, so check it out on September 30th. Pick up your copy, and make sure to head over to www.concert.tv for more information on all the tour dates. Thank you.